Hello,
I really like that
and
other one.
we are live. Over to Caleb for the intro.
Hello and welcome back to another VRSpies podcast. That's right, number 50. We've got, once again, the old VRSpies here with us. Myself, Reality Check VR. We have UKRifter right over there across the pond hanging out with us. And we've got VR Gamer Dude, Don, hanging out there in Springfield, Missouri, next to the Splitverse guys. And, of course, Billy, Pretty Neat VR, the best guy in the world, the friendo of the friends, and he is hanging out in Jacksonville, Florida. So we're all around, and we are excited to be here with you guys today. What's up, guys? What's going on?
What's up?
Stuff.
We're good.
What's up?
Stuff is good.
So much energy. So much energy. If you guys can't tell, we're super excited to be here right now. Super excited.
Well, I mean, I think what's up is 50 episodes, guys.
Yeah. So how did you guys count those 50 episodes? Did we just look at our last episode and it said 40 something and we just like believed
Yeah,
it?
that was literally all we did.
You know,
I couldn't be able to do anything else.
It might be 51.
Yeah, there might be a few more.
There's more hidden ones, I know.
There's a lot. I think there's a few hidden ones.
There's a lot of hidden
There's
ones.
a few that we took down, actually.
Okay, but real quick, what's the point? What we didn't say what we do. In case you are new, we're a virtual reality based podcast, as some people would say, YouTube chat show. But yes, we are. You know, we're here to talk about virtual reality technology, about things that you guys care about, things that are in our daily lives. Because I think most of us have virtual reality somewhere in our day-to-day lives. I know it's now something that I've worked with, partly because of the stuff that we've been doing together for so many years. So.
Oh yeah,
that's right. And
God,
we've basically been
we all met.
phoning it in, haven't we, for 50 episodes? Just kind of not quite trying hard enough. But people love the format. People love the not quite trying format that we continue to propagate. And I don't know why, and I'll just say it now because people are going to start complaining, but for some reason I'm the only one with a good image and everyone else looks pixelated as hell. I have no idea why. Hopefully Hangouts will balance out a little bit. I don't know what's going on.
I have no idea what's going on with that.
It was fine 5 seconds ago, and then it's all gone wrong. That's the way it goes.
Yours looks beautiful, man.
Mine's like
UKRifter
crystal clear. You can see all the little lines around my eyes. It's all HD. Whereas you guys, you're all lovely and smoothed out. You're looking 10 years younger though, Don.
Well, hey, whatever works to make me look 10 years younger. I mean,
you need an Instagram filter, Chris.
Yeah,
to help smooth it out. I'm just kidding.
So what's the agenda today? I mean, I know we
never
talked about
have
but we talked about the index last week because that was cool and new with Billy. I'm sure he's got some more things to talk about with that.
Well, I'd like to know how his first week went with the index. I mean,
yeah, and one thing with you, Don, I noticed very quickly is that, before you were talking in a different room, and now you're back in the house again too. So you're going to tell us about that too. And
I am. Yeah, I am.
You don't quite have the outside ready to go just yet. Is that?
Not 100% ready to go. It's usable, but it would be stupid hot in there. And my wife decided to go to the mall with the girls, so then I'm in studio number 2 now, which is the front room of the house, the new house, by the way. So.
Nice.
Not bad.
So are you still building the shed?
Freedom.
Are you still working on the shed there, Don?
Yeah, no, I am. I actually, right now we're at the point, we've got the electricity, like I showed everybody. I got the electricity run to it last week. We've got the air conditioner put in there. I got a little computer out there. I actually did film my first video. I did an Oculus Quest video out there. But still haven't put in the walls yet. Until I put in the walls, I really don't want to move out there fully. So luckily, my beautiful wife Stacy Silverlocks, as you guys know from my channel, has graciously given me the front room of the house to use as a second studio space until the shed is completely ready. So.
Okay, pretty cool. Glad it's coming along. It's nice to have some dedicated space. Absolutely.
Oh man, it is. I tell you, it's just it's the dream. I mean, you guys know. I mean, when we all met, I mean, I've been the whole time doing this in a little tiny, barely over 1,000-foot square foot townhome. With 5 people living in it.
I'm more interested. We got a stormtrooper in the background with a VR headset and a Yoda with the VRFX1. Is that?
We do. Yes, that is VR Yoda. He has made an appearance on my channel a few times, and I need some more hooks on the walls or stuff to hang my headsets on. And I was sitting there going, "Hey, I got the stormtrooper," and I wonder. And sure enough, my Odyssey Plus fit right on there, and then he holds his hand out and holds the controllers, so it makes a perfect VR stand. By the way,
nice.
So.
I kind of wanted to get some of those like little mannequin heads to put extra headsets on. Now that I've got one extra headset, I guess, but that thing looks pretty cool too. A little stormtrooper man.
I can imagine that sort of nightmare factory room of yours there, Billy, with like mannequin heads and
one of my favorite headsets
with makeup on.
This guy right here. This is the it's one that Eason Shin over on Facebook contacted me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Actually,
headset stands.
What's funny about that Universal one is that reminds me that the early 3D printed stands were just like that. Like they held the controllers on the outside and they kind of used all headsets and I actually printed a couple of those myself. That I never printed them for business because somebody else made them, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, that design seems like they were like, okay, let's just mold that and make it something bigger. But yeah, I think that's a great headset. It's a headset holder because it does all the headsets.
Essentially, I was going to kind of go for what I see behind you, Caleb, which was just some nice command hooks on the walls and things like that. But
I've got
kind
the
of nice
heads.
to display them.
I've got the heads over here though, so if you want, like they're kind of hidden up here in the.
Oh yeah, the creepy heads.
I've got the creepy heads. I've got two of the Cybust heads, and then I've got two of the glass heads that I got.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's.
Well, I tell you, the Cybust, man, those things are amazingly cool.
Yeah.
Which one's the Cybust? Point to it again. Because I really like the see-through heads. You used to. Is that what you're talking about?
No,
I like the transparent one.
Those were
the see-through, yeah. No, the Cybust, like the one that we saw, where.
Here's the most recent Cybust. Here's the most recent Cybust, and that's like.
Ooh, that's nice.
That's the one that's all angled. Looks like the super
polygon.
Kind of super hot style. And
yeah, I was gonna say paint that thing red, and it would totally look like the super hot.
I think they had a red version that came out, but yeah, this one holds my old gear. It's my old gear holder for now. You all remember the old Gear VR.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. These were by Floxy, the old VR AR Labs.
But dude, I'm sorry, that has to be red. It needs to be red. So.
Yeah, mine are just all stuck in boxes. I have absolutely no class, clearly.
The video's good now, so.
Yeah, the video's good.
It's usable now. I think that's what he means by it.
Yeah, there you go.
We can deal with this. We can deal.
There you go.
Let me see. I need to actually get up in it. I'm not even watching chat, so hey, I'll pay attention to chat too. I'm watching chat too. All right, we need to make a way so that chat's in the actual thing here through like OBS. We can put a little transparent chat.
Yeah, that'd be good.
At some point.
Yeah,
a
little bit. Yeah.
Chris is working on it.
I can do that. I can do that. I can do that live. I can do it.
Yeah,
I can just. Yeah.
I don't want to put too much pressure on you, Chris.
We'll be there by at least episode 100.
hey, we'll get there. We'll get there. The nice thing is I don't know. We can always talk about whatever people in the chat want to talk about too. So that's one thing I want to make sure the people that are actually here with us right now, if you're watching, we definitely throw in some comments or questions that you have or something maybe that you've been doing. We don't unfortunately get to every single person, but we do try to read all the comments and we do try to bring those comments into the actual chat itself. Once again, we're going to remind people we want this to be more of an informal discussion where we talk about stuff that we care about and we talk about stuff that you care about. Not only that, but we do want to shout out some people from time to time. I don't think we have any special shout outs this week, do we, guys? But that's something we're going to have to start next week for sure.
Anna Game Dev's birthday. Don't forget Anna Game Dev's birthday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that was yesterday.
That's huge.
Well, that's not a small YouTuber.
I'm a bit.
That's definitely on the shout out section, I guess.
Well, she's got a YouTube channel now.
That's true. That's true.
So there you go.
She does have a YouTube channel. So go check it out. I think if you just go to YouTube and you type in,
really good YouTube channel. It's like a great YouTube channel.
She's been she hasn't posted recently, but all the videos that she does are more on the fun style. So if you just type in Anna Game Dev 1N on YouTube, it'll pop up and you can go ahead and subscribe and see some of the most recent videos. And the last video she did was like 3 months ago, but I think that she's been working really hard on Pixelrip 1995. So that's
I can't wait.
Yeah, but I know she's got a Japanese video I know she's been working on and editing lately. So I know she's got a brand new video that will be coming out soon. Hey. So shout out right there. Happy birthday.
Okay, well, actually, Caleb, you might have done this. So Sponge720 in the chat's asking, have any of us checked out the B-Haptics vest?
Well, a few times. Yeah, B-Haptics, they've reiterated their vest a few times now. I think they're on their third product, or the third version of it at this moment. But the B-Haptics has not only the vest, they've got the arm pieces, and then they've also got the piece that goes in the mask, so you can apparently feel like getting shot. I was lucky enough to get to try it out about a year ago, and then like I said, about a year and a half ago I tried the second version, and then about a year ago I tried the newest version, and then I saw Mike VR Oasis did a video on his channel with it as well. I didn't actually watch the whole thing, so I didn't see how he enjoyed the faceplate. I can tell you right now from my own experience, it's underwhelming in the sense, as far as the extras, the faceplate and the hand things. They don't do much other than, I mean, sure, you'll feel some vibrations, you'll feel some transducer effects on your arms, but it doesn't really help the actual immersion. So without going too far into the depth, the whole point of this stuff is to make it feel more real, right?
Yeah.
And when I'm playing with the actual vest itself, there's absolutely more realism when I'm playing even like Beat Saber, or I'm playing Audica, or I'm playing Onward, or any kind of a game where you're intense. You can feel that atmosphere around you in your vest, and that's really killer and cool. All these little add-ons, like I said, the faceplate and the extras don't really do much for me. At the same time, does it really feel like you're being shot? Of course not. No. The greatest effect that you have with these transducer vests, for me, almost is like when a grenade goes off near you, and then you kind of hear and then you kind of feel the vibration effect hit you.
Feel the rumble.
Yeah, and that right there, it's almost like the transducer effects actually push this vibration through you, as opposed to trying to vibrate your body up and down. They're pushing the vibration through your actual body, and you can feel it in a much different way. So I'm excited about them. They have a long way to go. I have the Core Effects vest from a long time ago. You guys remember that old Core Effects vest?
Oh yeah, I remember
terrible thing. Yeah, so that thing's, I'm not taking that thing out for a while. And Don, you know full well, putting transducers on your seat when you're playing
Well,
something
I was
really
going to go there,
dangerous.
right?
And
Yes, you
yeah,
guys
I mean,
back in battle chair again.
yeah, I
Dude,
mean,
What's interesting though is that the transducer on my battle chair actually came from the predecessor to all of those things.
Yeah.
The Aura Interactor vest back in the 1990s.
Right.
It was this bulky plastic vest that you wore, and you hooked it had a transducer on the back, and you could hook it into like Nintendo or Sega or your PC. Well, it lives on in battle chair because I disassembled that damn thing, and that's what I used as the transducer.
Right. And I remember looking that up. They had those available on eBay for sale. And those are so cool.
Like $10, yeah. And they actually come with a little amplifier. So I mean, you basically
Okay.
Yeah, you got the vest. Hold on, let me see if I can find it here.
Well, so the amplifier, what that does, just it's actually more of a crossover. It actually stops the signal from giving you anything other than the base signal.
Oh, that's clever.
So you just hook that up into your PC, and then you run it to either the vest, which was bulky as hell, which nobody would use it with modern VR. But if you can find these online, guys, I tell you what, you can pick them up sometimes on eBay for as low as $5 or $10. Strip the transducer out of the vest, hook this baby up to your PC, and you've got a chair that's going to give you some serious run.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you can find them for that cheap, definitely do it. If they start getting more expensive, you can also buy, I think, you can buy directly transducers and little mini amplifiers, for pretty cheap. I mean, it's about $30 for an amplifier and about $40 for a little transducer that actually does something.
Yeah, I think I paid about $15 for mine. I've got two in my chair, which I've hooked up to an old amplifier, and it works really well.
How big are the ones that you have?
They're like,
in the chair?
they're sort of pucks? Yeah, they're like puck size. They're like sort of that big.
So the puck size is. So I used to have two of the pucks in the back of my chair back here, and then I had on the bottom, I had those big like butt kickers, which is what drummers use when they're playing drums.
Yeah, that's very good.
And so if you're in the musician world, drummers use actual transducers on their butts because they need to be able to feel, because they can't hear a lot of times because they're in the moment and they're so crazy. So they need to be able to feel every time they hit something. So they actually have a transducer in their butt. That sounds weird. In their chair, they're called a butt kicker. So when they're hitting it. And yeah, that allows them to actually, yeah. Oh, maybe you really
a huge sacrifice.
Maybe I do. I don't know.
So just on that subject, so I've just realised Don made his own battle chair. I made my own seat out of bits of wood and nailed together. And you've made something as well, Caleb, right? So we've all sort of made stuff, haven't we?
Yeah, I have a video of Caleb's. That's like one of my first videos.
In 2014, he came over and he was like, "Check out this chair."
Dude, I loved your chair, though, man. The first time I got to sit in it,
you had the Core
a hell of a lot more than mine.
Yeah, I looked really silly though, because I had people in the DK2, which I had the Leap Motion on it. So the Leap Motion, the DK2, and then I had people with the chair, and then I had them with the vest on, and I had them, and they were like, "Oh, this is amazing," and they looked ridiculous. And it's some of the most fun times, looking back and seeing that stuff. Don, I was actually going through. I have the photos from the Springfield meetup still. We need to make a video of that.
So we are on the 50th episode, so we did promise that we'd be a little bit more nostalgic this episode, didn't we?
We're being waxing nostalgic here, yeah.
Yeah, we're not talking. Yeah, is that true? Did we say that?
Yeah, we did. Actually, we did.
Well, perfect.
It's 50 episodes, and we've been kind of doing this.
Whenever I'm nostalgic, I always just, whenever I'm feeling nostalgic, I always just think of the same thing. And you know what I'm going to say, Billy? You know what I'm going to say?
No.
Something about water bears.
The water bears review is my favourite moment in our history. Everything else, you think about all the wonderful stuff we've done, and yet somehow your review of water bears still holds water. Fantastic.
Because it's just one of the best games. It's just one of the best games.
I really sold it too.
Possibly one of the best games.
I think you killed that game. To be honest, I think you killed it.
Well, you know,
why?
it's no Flappy Bird VR. That was it. I mean, it is no Flappy Bird VR. So.
Have you ever heard of water bears since? I think Billy killed it that day. That was that dev's life and work. Life work.
I see it all the time, man.
Okay, we'll have to bring. We need to bring it.
Also, the that vest you were talking about. Have any of you guys heard of that sub pack? I think this one's the one that the drummers maybe use a little bit more. Sub pack M2 or something, or S2. Have any of you guys tried that one?
You're talking about the chair or the vest?
This is just another vest. It's a little bit cheaper than.
Have you ever seen a drummer wear a vest?
I don't look. All I ever see is the guitarist and the singer.
I've never seen a drummer wear a haptic vest. I mean, it would be cool, but I've never seen that yet. But that'd be interesting.
Yeah, maybe I'm thinking more like producers and stuff wearing it. Maybe. I mean, that's what it says on the website. Like, music producers listen to it, use it and stuff.
Yeah, because that's how all their audience would listen to it. They're like, yeah, this is the audience is gonna.
No, for mixing, man.
Yeah. When you feel your music, it's definitely a different level. I mean, music is meant to be put into the physical world, right? So.
Yeah.
We've got
off topic. I was just asking if any of you guys have heard of it. It is cheaper than the other one.
Okay,
so
I wanted to go back real quick and finish the transducer talk because we talked about this transducer haptic vest. So one thing I do think that's very, very important, which I'm seeing a lot more in as I've traveled to California, even Brazil, and of course the Void has this very much right now, and that is transducer floors. The ability to actually have like transducers in the floors and have them programmable so that you've got transducers all around the different areas. It really allows you to have effects where you can feel like somebody's walking or running towards you when you can have the transducers, going kind of in the distance, blah, blah, everyone can see this, but it's that's awesome. So basically what I'm trying to say here is I went to this experience called in Typhonium, which is in Japan, and they had transducers on the floor. And although it was very cool, it was very underwhelming because it wasn't very powerful. So although the effect was there, it almost didn't do a very good job. So you have to make sure that having the effect isn't as important as having the right effect. Does that make sense? So, just having transducers isn't a good thing. You need to have good transducers or the proper feeling when you have them so that it actually doesn't hurt the experience. It actually helps the experience in that way. And then what I want to say too is when I went to the Void, and without giving up too much, when I went to the Void, I experienced the new Wreck-It Ralph or Ralph Breaks the Internet in virtual reality. And it was so much fun because I was running over to a wall and I was putting my hands on the wall and I was playing with a little girl as she was sitting there telling me what to do with Ralph, and Ralph's telling me what to do to shoot her with cinnamon buns, and it was going crazy. At one point, I'm running through the level and I'm standing there and I can feel. Ralph is running behind me, and I look over and I can see Ralph running right there, right next to me. But on the floor that I'm standing physically, I can feel his large body. And I knew instantly that there was transducers that was doing the movement. Nobody's there pretending to, stomp next to me, but those transducers were doing such a perfect job, and they were actually out on the side, so I could kind of feel the effect of them coming over to me. So,
that's pretty cool.
That was something that, although I had felt a lot of transducers in VR before, I had never felt them being used in an effect to simulate other people in my environment to such a real effect. So that's all I wanted to say.
Which location did you go to for the Void?
The Santa Monica one. I was able to do. I did every experience. I did the
Star Wars one.
Yeah, Star Wars. Wreck-It Ralph Breaks the Internet, and then there was a scary one. I think it was Nosferatu or something. Or that was not. It was.
We need to go down to.
We
need to go down to Orlando, man. Or up for you, but we should go to Orlando and try that one out. Since they've opened.
I will try it. I'm gonna look it up because I don't want to say the wrong thing. The scary experience that I did there at the Void was one of the best VR experiences I've ever done in my life. I can say, and that was Nicodemus. Wow, I said
Nicodemus. Yeah.
It was Demon of evanishment. It was an amazing experience. I'll have to talk about that at some point when you guys
Yeah,
want to
Man,
hear
I'll
about
tell you what. I've only ever done one, but it was the Secrets of the Empire, Shadows of the Empire, Secrets of the Empire.
Yeah.
We're at OC5, and man, just like you were talking about, just the sensory. I mean, everything, the haptics in the floors, the wind, the heat, and it was weird when I was playing Vader Immortal on the Quest. I kept flashing back to that experience because in the Void experience, you end up at Mustafar as well. And I was like, oh man, I'm missing it. I'm missing that heat effect. I'm missing the wind, so.
Oh, that's cool.
Definitely.
So
Definitely
Don,
cool.
you mentioned last week you were talking a little bit about the Pimax and the build quality issues. You've got some first-hand experience of that now, haven't you?
I do. So you guys, I've had my Pimax now for about 3 weeks, and from the research that I've been doing on Reddit and over on the Pimax forum, it seems to be that's the kind of the sweet spot for when this might happen. So I don't know if you guys can see that very, very easily.
Chipped
but,
off?
Yeah, I can see that. That's not good.
There's a huge chip out of the corner of my 5K Plus. I've also got some cracks. I got some.
We're not talking about chocolate chips, no.
No chocolate chips. No chips of the good kind there. So that is a known build issue with certain Pimax. They had some cooling issues or some deburring issues. Apparently, they found the issue though. So the Pimax did put out a statement last week. They found the issue. It has to do with the cooling and deburring process. They are getting that corrected, and that future headsets should not have this problem. So you're going to contact them. Obviously, let them know that the one that they sent me is one of the affected batch, and hopefully they can get switched out to be a little bit of a
Just-
contrast. So.
Really?
What, is that really loud?
It's very loud, dude.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Very loud.
Do you type like 120 words a minute or something? That was incredible.
He's a very fast typer.
Unbelievable.
I have those
Anyway.
really clicky keys, so.
He was just like, Don, I don't care.
Yeah, he's like, shut up, Don. I'm gonna fucking type.
Oh, I was just kind of reading the chat too, so.
But no. Anyway, more to come on that, guys. It's
Oh.
definitely the build quality has affected me. I'm still loving the headset. You don't see any light leak through the cracks, so it's not affecting my ability to use the headset. But obviously, cosmetic. It's not, preferred to have cracks and chips out of your headset that you spent almost $1,000 for. So.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
Down to like 600 now, isn't it, with some of the coupons and
Well,
stuff?
if you had to buy base stations and controllers,
Oh, I get what you.
by the time you buy the base stations, the controllers, and the headset, yeah, you're dropping about $1,000 for that headset.
That's true.
So for $1,000, even for 600, you'd expect a little bit better build quality than
Right.
3. And just grabbing it, is what's causing it. I mean, it's basically the mating points of the plastics are just not good. So. It's still an amazing headset, though. Amazing experience. Awesome. Can't go back from the wide field of view. Shit build quality. That's all I got to say.
So how should we jump across then to the other HMD? Since you've had it now, Billy, for about I guess a week, right? You only just got it last week.
Wait, we can't go too far. I'm sorry, man. People are asking about keys. I gotta put a key in there. I got it ready to go. I'm putting it in right now. I'm putting Water Bears, Steamvr, boom.
Oh, boom.
You've got a Water Bears. You got a Water Bears key.
Water Bears.
How'd you get? How'd you get that?
I had a lot of keys.
I thought we were blacklisted after Billy's review. To be honest, I thought that was it for us. No more keys for that show.
I'm just saying.
I think didn't we advertised some flappy VR, didn't we?
And Duckpocalypse coming at you. All right.
I love Duckpocalypse.
Yep.
See how many people we got watching right now? We got
a
17.
million.
Grab them keys. Get them into Steam.
I'm gonna throw a big one out here. Hold on.
Only Oculus keys.
Is
Only
that how
Oculus keys. Boom. What I just send there? What did I send?
Is that how they spell that? Duckpocalypse like that? That's fun.
Yeah, I think that's right.
That's awesome.
Blaze
spell
Bowl
check
from the
everything.
Oculus. Boom.
Oh.
Oculus key.
Oh, wait, here we go.
Blaze
That's
Bowl,
3
huh?
keys right there. That's 3 keys.
3 keys. This is giving away key crazy.
Oh, no. Wait, I'm about to drop 10.
This is.
Wait.
You're just trying to one up. You're trying to one up.
Who has a Gear VR? Boom. Gear VR key. Her sanctum.
Let's see what I got.
This is insane. Most podcasts would only give away one key if you're lucky, but we're giving away just hundreds now.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's gone mental.
Wait, Don just gave a bunch of keys and nobody knows how to.
No,
How am
I
gonna
did,
read
and
those?
they're all. Hold on.
Oh man, hold on.
Oh, you
Don't
messed
worry.
that up,
I'm
man.
gonna
You
take one of
messed
those.
that up.
Oh, he retracted a message, guys.
I'm gonna do them one at a time.
Indian giver. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead. Snatchers.
10 Flappy VR.
Flappy VR, this is. Oh, and Snatchers. I might take that one. I like that. I like that game.
You know, basically, we're all just dumping off all of our keys.
Yeah.
Oh no.
That's
I
funny.
have a lot more keys.
Oh, God, dude. I have a folder in my email right now that has like 260 keys.
I've been waiting to give this a keyway. You know why? Because I don't know what it is. It's got a question mark on it. I don't know what game it is. I couldn't remember.
Yeah. Here's a
question
surprise
mark.
key.
Just in case any
All right,
children,
here's the key. It's V.
any children watching,
8ZK dash 14. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
any children watching, don't cash in Caleb's key. It might be porn. We just don't know.
It very well could be. I don't know what that is. Just be cautious.
Yeah. The email's like, try this game out. It's very awesome. Not gonna tell you too much about it.
Nope.
So all the ones that Don's pasting
Shoot.
now, this is for Flappy, which is basically Flappy Bird's VR, and it is actually really fun. I've played it quite a lot.
They say that, but they weren't on the leaderboard. So
watching your friends.
They weren't on the leaderboard.
well,
we weren't on the leaderboard, Caleb, because
You
I
wanna
don't think
know
you can
about
get
how
on the
the game really
leaderboard
is.
with a score of
They-
4.
They use different names for the leaderboard. They just wanted to remain anonymous
yeah,
and just know that they're the best.
that's right.
That's
They're the only ones that
exactly,
need to know.
exactly, Billy.
All right. Well, you know what's awesome? We have 18 people watching, which means everybody wins today.
Yeah, everybody.
You get a key. You get a
Unless there's
key.
one guy.
You all get keys.
There's one guy who just took all the keys. You know that.
No,
Yeah,
I was
being
going to say the
open and ready.
bots are actually loving our chat right now because there's probably bots scooping up everything.
Oh yeah, these are going straight onto some key selling site immediately.
Yeah, right. But then they'd have to sell it fast enough.
10 keys to Flappy.
All right. Someone paid me to do a review on this, but I'm going to give the key out so you guys can do the review. I'm just kidding. That doesn't happen.
That
Wait,
doesn't
wait,
happen.
never
what?
happens.
Wait, wait, somebody else do the review and you can. Oh my god.
You can have them do the review. Be like, here it is. This is my other channel.
So I actually had my little brother do that for me. I had this company. So we're changing gears for just a half a second. This company always reaches out and they're like, "Hey, we want you to do these reviews for this stuff that you don't own, like an Apple Watch band. I don't have an Apple Watch." And I'm like, "Sure, send it on over." And they sent it. And they're like, "Do you have a review for it?" I'm like, "No." So my little brother, of course, does have an Apple Watch. I gave it to him. He made a video, and boom, here you go. Here's your video.
There you
They're
go.
like, "Can we send you another one?" I'm like, "No,
Nice.
It never works.
no." This is. I'll tell you guys real quick. I'm going to go into a little bit of philosophy, a little bit of a recipe though, right now. And this is my recipe for YouTube success. When you want to a recipe, and that anybody that does these ingredients, puts them together, they're going to get the same result. It's just going to be a little different for everybody, but it's going to be the same result. The cake ingredients are always going to make cake, but everybody's cake's going to be a little different, right? So the whole idea here is that if you want something free, you want to get cool stuff, right? A lot of these people get, they see, how are these people doing some of these things? You have to create value for people. That's number one. Rule number one, you have to create value. And the best way to create value is to, either give somebody exposure, give somebody obviously positivity, or if they have something negative, just stay away from them, obviously. So stay away from negative stuff. Don't be looked at like that. But all I'm trying to say here is, if you want to get into VR and you don't have VR, go buy a $20 headset. Go buy something that you can save up for the cheapest thing that you can afford and start making content with that. And once you start making content with that, you can start reaching out to other people and say, hey, this is the value that I'm trying to give these people. And does that look good to you? And it can build from there. So that's like when I wanted drones for the first time, I went out and I bought a $20 drone and I started making videos of that. When I wanted 3D printers, I went out and I borrowed a friend's 3D printer and I made a bunch of videos of that. And I sent them to the company. I said, hey, look, you guys want me to make videos of your other printer? So this is how I tried to do. That's what there. And that's I don't know how we got there, but when you want to get into VR, that was literally kind of my world. I wanted to be involved in this stuff, and I wanted to get free keys. I wanted to get a lot of these things, and the way to do it is to just start using your free time
Give back,
to give other
man.
people value,
Yeah,
and then
give
you'll start
back.
getting it back. So That's the secret, right? Or unless you're just somebody who's really lucky, you can just like open up your email someday and they're like, we just want to give you free things, and you're like, oh, I guess I just deserve it. I mean, that doesn't happen to most people. But
It never happens. No.
Some people think that though. Right? It's fun.
They certainly do. They certainly do.
like when Creative sends you like sound cards and.
Oh, what? That's cool. Okay, so actually, I'll finish this up
So
with.
this is pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. I've had recently. I didn't even know those things existed anymore. I've had people.
Dude, it's an external. It's like wait, real quick. I got to talk about this since you're talking about the
Okay. Okay.
The Creative G6. This thing is freaking amazing. Okay, non-VR, obviously. I mean, maybe you could pitch it to be VR. I don't know. I'm still trying to find a way to do that so I can make a video for them. But
an amplifier or what?
Really changes. It's like a headphone amplifier.
Yeah, no, I believe it. I used to use those.
So
it just amplifies your sound, better quality, but higher.
God, the spatial
higher levels.
They got this thing called Hunter mode where it like makes everything.
I think I actually looked at those because Sennheiser makes something similar to that I was looking at for gaming.
Is like super cool. So still trying to find a way to use that with VR. More to come on that. But,
okay. Well, all I'm going to do is wrap up is that I've gotten several emails recently with people saying, hey, how do, I work for a company, or I work for an organization or a school, education, and I want to take this application and get people to review it and put it out there. How much do you charge for review videos? And as soon as I get that, I'm not judging other people. I don't even want, this isn't the topic of conversation about that. But when somebody messages me and says, hey, how much do you charge for a review video? I love being able to respond, I do not charge for review videos. If your app is interesting and something I enjoy, I'm going to play it. If you give me a key for it and I have time for it, I'm going to play it. It's not something that you have to pay me to do. And at the same time, I know these other guys over here, the VRSpies guys, they'd love to play it too. So I'm sorry if you guys have gotten a few emails recently. I've definitely been telling people that you'll do reviews for free.
Yeah, I get a lot of those. It's funny because when it comes to self-promotion, that kind of moral stance, I know we all have. I like to kind of promote that. And I was very tempted to kind of cut and paste my response, like literally just the other day, to this person who said, they're willing to pay me a few £100s to do a review of this software. And it was quite good software. It was like education based. It's something that appealed to me. But I just wrote back and I said, I have never and will never charge developers to review their content. So, just give me a key and I'll do it. And I know you guys share that same approach. And I think it's kind of the honest way to be. So there you go. Yeah, self-promotion, but fuck it.
Yeah, right. And having said that, if somebody wants me to be in a commercial, you can pay me for that. Sure, I'll be in a commercial for you. We can make an ad. I'll make a commercial for you, but it's going to be pretty known that that's what it is at that point in time. I mean, I've done a lot of, like for example, I did a Brass Tactics Oculus video where I did a tips and tricks. I didn't get paid for that at all. They didn't pay me whatsoever, but they did ask me to do it, and I did it in a very commercially way. And I even made sure to put in there like but even so, there's no money involved. But I still felt like, because somebody asked me to do it and it wasn't something that I would normally just do, but I got put on the Oculus homepage for it. So hey, there's me bragging.
Yeah. I'm just enjoying these delicious salted pretzels. They're really fantastic.
So hungry.
Nice. So now I can start typing again?
Yes, you can always type. No, only when I talk. When I talk, I start.
I'm sorry, man. I'm
sorry.
Yeah,
can we talk about the index now? I'm actually dying to know what's been going on with Billy.
I really want to know.
Billy's first week.
Yeah, I kind of feel bad because I really haven't played a whole lot this week. A lot of my opinions haven't changed too much. I have been getting more annoyed with the black levels on it. I played like DCS again on a night level, and it was just like so washed out. Like I was like, man, this is pretty washed out. A lot of people have been talking about this the joystick sticking. I haven't really noticed that. I have again noticed like that the throw of it's really weird, and pushing down on it, you don't have to push. Like it's hard to figure out how much pressure to push on the stick to get that to click. Right. But other than that, I'm still like, testing it out, trying all the games, and I don't know. I guess, do you guys have any questions for me about anything in particular? Because I think last time I pretty much talked about it quite a bit, and I don't really have a whole lot of new.
So you're saying the black ones are really bad?
It's way worse than the Vive, I guess. I noticed that. And then the God Razors pretty bad too. I'm starting to, I guess the newness of it's kind of wearing off, and I'm to that point where I'm kind of just, oh yeah, okay, here's the downsides.
Billy, so Eric Hartley, E-, has a channel out on YouTube. Go check him out. Awesome guy. Just said, have you tried validating Steamvr? Apparently that helps to sort out the black level issues. And I actually did read that. So go have Steamvr revalidate your files and see if your black levels are better.
That's a good idea. I'll definitely do that, because I also was having when I first did it, I downloaded the SDK, or not the SDK, but the update for Steamvr, whatever that is, for the index, and just plugged it in and played. And I have had those issues where, like, when I close out of Steamvr and then try and start it again.
I can't. I'm sorry. I can't. I just, when you see the comment, and Eric, I love you for that. Eric's always got these great comments. He knows a lot about what's going on in the VR industry and all different forums. So Eric is going to have to come on here for sure. But I'd love have you ever tried validating Steamvr? Apparently it helps. And I know you guys just said this, but no one knows why. Like, this is like DK2 days. Like, the old no one knows why. Like, this app doesn't start in your monitor, but sometimes it does. No one knows why.
It's a mystery.
Like, we're back there again?
Yeah.
It makes your headset look better.
I think in some ways we have kind of transitioned back to DK.
That's hilarious.
You just need to just go in your room and start doing random stuff. Just like start dancing in circles, take the headset, move it up and down, move it up and down, move it up and down. So, like, just know it. Sometimes things will, like, maybe the quality gets +2 better, and no one.
I kind of have to spin around to a 720.
Yeah, dude. Like, you're gonna unlock the actual potential of the index. Nobody's actually unlocked it yet.
It's like physical cheat codes that you have to do. Yeah.
Like what is that TV show on Netflix where they do the body things, right? You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. The zero girl, the OA. Yeah, the OA.
OA.
I love that show. It's not my favorite Netflix show.
Yeah. Come on, you're British. You should love that.
Mm-hmm.
I do.
So
I love it. I like that show a lot too. It's very.
All right. So getting back to Billy and the black levels, because this is something I have been super curious about with all of the modern VR headsets switching to LCD, and you said, we're almost going back to the DK days in a way, in some ways, and having those black levels go from that perfect pitch black OLED that we've gotten used to in things like the Vive and the Oculus Rift, now we're on LCDs again. What do you guys feel about that? Is it a step forward? Is it a step back? I mean,
it's a step forward in the sense that we're going to have better technology for cheaper prices and easier manufactured. That's obviously huge. I mean, like most people that jump into this, they don't find they don't see something bad. When somebody jumps into the Rift S, even, they don't notice that it's lower hertz or that it's got different display panels. They do notice the sound, but we've already talked quite a bit about that. So I think these new headsets are a step forward. I just think that the software is something that needs to stay with that. We need to make sure that this software is something that's constantly easy to use. And the thing is, they're advancing this hardware so quickly that the software, like the people that are designing the software, I can only imagine on the back end, people that are working with Oculus, people that are working with HTC, how here's the product. Okay, is it going to stay the same? We don't know. Make software for it. Like, okay, like, they're probably having a difficult time making proper software for this. So we really haven't gotten to a point where we're ever standing still. I don't know if we're ever going to be at a standstill with it, because it's such a consumer driven world, because where the money's at. It's not like we're just trying to make the best headset, right now. No, we're sitting here trying to advance constantly and outbeat the competition. So there's a lot of people who are doing work like Pimax. They're doing work for tracking. They're doing work for making things look smooth, and their work is hidden from Oculus, which is for hidden. All this, it's all compartmentalise. So we've got, and because of that,
guys.
Yeah, no, it's not this technology being brought together because of something like in some countries it is governmentally run, so they do have sharing, but in America it's not, and that's where all the main technology is kind of coming from at this moment in time.
And Caleb, to that point, and to Billy's bad black levels in the index, if these companies work together right now, Pimax in the latest PyTool update, I have sliders for contrast, for brightness, for color, so you can actually fine tune the headset to your liking. And I'm going to tell you, I've gotten rid of those crappy black levels in the Pimax.
And I mean, that's a good point, because not everyone perceives
the image
light.
But see, if they would share that, it's like, why are we seeing that in just one headset? Why is that not across the board that we get those?
Because open source never sells. That's exactly what Caleb's saying.
Right.
This is true. This is true.
Yeah. Well, Paradise Decay, he's also in our chat right now. He's a great VR guy. He's got a channel as well. Yeah, he's mentioning how he's got, a 1060. His computer has problems running the CV1 and all the USBs. And I'm not even sure if that's a matter of the graphics card as much as just like the motherboard and of course the extra cards. Because yeah, anybody that wants to run 4 sensors or even 3 sensors or even sometimes 2 sensors and the CV1, you've got to have a powerful enough computer to run that, right? And so I've got a 1080 Ti, which you don't need to have it running. But what I do have, which is something that's necessary, is I have an Initech USB 3.0 card. I've also got a StarTech USB 3.0 card. And that, the StarTech was $90 card. And then the Initech was a $40 card. And what that does is it gives you more USB 3.0s that are powered so that you can actually run your sensors. You can run your headset without, taking what your motherboard, has all of its bandwidth already. So it's just one of those difficult things to get the CV1 to run properly. It is not that easy. So I agree with him. When I'm traveling, like I've traveled quite a bit in the last year, and when I'm moving around places, I usually do take 3 sensors. I take my headset, and I usually take things to put them up on the ceiling, and I take extra cabling. I take extra USBs, so that I can get them along across the room. So all those cables and all that stuff, it's a lot of weight. I hate traveling with all the suitcases I do every single time. So I do agree that moving forward, having like the all-in-one tracking, although for VR esports it's not as perfect in some ways, I think that's so much better, so much easier, and people love getting into VR in those ways. So yeah, I'm so happy that we're where we are right now. 2019, when we started doing this, 2014, 15 is when we started the podcast. So 4 or 5 years have gone by, and a relatively quick period of time, we're at much higher quality, much better use, much easier software. We still have a long way to go to make it just big mainstream and make it accessible for everybody else. But the average person nowadays that uses a cell phone is much more technologically inclined than somebody even 10 years ago, talking, just because it was basically computers and no computers, right? And now everybody's using a computer in their hand. So at least it's not going to be too far-fetched to see people jumping into VR as it becomes more something easier to use like a cell phone.
Yeah, I agree, and you're absolutely right. I mean, this goes back to the point about the kind of open standards. It's like the theory of communism, right? If you communism seems like a good idea because great, everyone works together and it all just works. And that's effectively what an open standard's like. You're opening it out to a community and you're saying, look, we can make this wonderful. But actually, what you get is this like weird organically growing tool that then doesn't quite work at all. And so then when you have like almost like, and I don't like it, but when you have this kind of ring-fenced walled garden approach, at least then you have control over that core software and it just works. So there's arguments in both directions. I totally get that. And Paradise Decay, right, he brought up the point earlier. I think it was a couple of weeks ago we gave a shout out to Paradise Decay because he was really worried that he had a problem with his eye and he was thinking he was going to have some surgery. And so it's all good. Yeah, he's fine, right? So I'm really pleased to hear that, dude.
Fingers crossed, all good so far.
It's all good, all good and good. So excellent news.
Yeah,
guys, we're wrapping it up here. I'm going to throw some more keys in the chat.
I haven't even given away my keys yet.
This day went by quickly. Okay, wait. Wait. I do want to make sure that we ask chat real quick if they have anything that they want to talk about, and I do want to at least quickly run over my Void experience because I think it's before I forget it.
I'll paste some keys. You talk about Void, and then we'll get some questions out of chat for the ending. Okay? Does that sound good?
Okay. That sounds like a brilliant thing. Okay, so guys, I went to this place in Santa Monica, the Void. You guys all know about the Void, right? The Void is a place where not only do they put the headset on you, and the headset can flip up and down, right? It's a proprietary headset. They allow you to walk around the room in a multiplayer experience with other people. So you're with other people in virtual reality at the same time. It uses also Elite Motion, so you just have your hands in front of you and you can see your hands and you can see their hands, right? So you're all moving around. And what's great is everything's tactile in the sense that if you see a wall, you can touch it. If you see a banner, or a railing, you can grab onto it. Everything that you see is really actually kind of there, except for obviously the NPCs that are running around. Okay, so I went to this last. I don't want to give everything away, but what made this so cool is I went to the Nicodemus Demon of Vanishment, and I had done all the other ones before, where I'd run around with other people, no big deal. But what made this really cool is it was a kind of a terrifying, scary experience. And I went with my brother and his girlfriend. So there was 3 of us. And normally there can be 4 people, but there was 3. So what happened is they put 2 of them in front of me and they put me on the other side by myself. And we were literally standing in a little 4-foot by 4-foot square. And what they had is they had my brother and his girlfriend standing just across from me, maybe 2 feet away. And they had me standing back, by myself in one little section. And they said, put your headsets down and go. And one thing is that the vests that you're wearing are also transducer vests. They've got them around kind of your waistline and also up on your body. So the whole environment, and when something happens, you can feel it on the transducer vest. And they're very powerful vests. They're not puny. They're more powerful than the B haptics. They're more powerful than the Core FX. They feel like a flight. Yeah. They're custom made. And they've even got things that kind of transducer on your shoulders a little bit, on your back. I'm not going to give away everything because I want people need to definitely experience this kind of stuff. But what happened that kind of blew my mind, that was right off the beginning, is I knew I was standing right there next to my brother. I knew there was a doorway right there, and I knew they were going to do all kinds of tricks. I work with development quite a bit, but everything they did still made my brain kind of explode. So it started off, and they went from right in front of me, and they have avatars. So we were on a train station, or in a train, and the train was buckled right in between us. And as soon as the experience starts, the train kind of breaks, and then they start drifting away. And so even though they're standing directly in front of me, the software actually pulled them away. So their avatars slowly get farther and farther away from me. And I'm waving at them bye, and they're waving at me bye. So we're instantly feeling like we're getting separated from each other. And in real life, we're literally standing side by side, but we don't feel that way, right?
That's pretty wild.
And so at some point, their vision must have changed. What they saw, they must have walked away and left, because what I saw was them waving at me saying, bye, Caleb, to all of a sudden they got far enough away, maybe 50 feet away, to I saw this demon creature kind of jump out and grab them, and their bodies ragdolled away. And I was like, whoa, it scared the crap out of me. It looked like they just got taken. And I didn't hear their voice. I didn't hear anything from them. So from that point forward, they're gone. They're like, I don't see them. I can't feel them. They're gone from me. Like, they got taken away. So I'm walking through this experience kind of by myself. But what was really cool is that, like, the transducer floors, they've got mist spraying at me. So I'm kind of walking through this misty area, and I see a mirror, and I can tell in front of me I've got a puzzle to do. But I see this mirror on my left, and I walked over to the mirror, and right when I looked into the mirror, I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I could kind of feel that there was this interesting effects going on behind me. So it made you kind of. I was like, that was really cool. And all of a sudden, you kind of felt the mysterious music, and you could see this creature in the distance in the background of the mirror, and it's like, holy crap! So I look over, and of course, there's nothing there. And I'm like, oh, that was pretty good. So I look back in the mirror for a second, and it's getting faster and faster, and it's coming right up behind me. I'm like, whoa, crap. So I look around. I'm like, oh, no, like that got me really good. I didn't want it. I walk forward. I do the puzzle. I go back to the mirror. I'm like, just because I'm going to look in the mirror again. I see nothing. And I kind of stare at the mirror, and I kind of live with my character, start like doing like a little dance. And then the guy came from behind my back, like, rah! And I could feel the transducers rumbling. And it I like almost wet myself and hit the ground, because I went from like, I thought the scary part was over. They jump scared me once.
They totally
I went back
got
to
you.
a mirror, almost like you would in real life, and they gave you just enough comedic timing to make you feel comfortable and confident before the thing wraps around you, but you feel it attacking you at the same time. And then you're looking back, and it's not there, and you're like, oh, great. And the whole rest of the level, you're kind of walking around, and this thing's kind of chasing you and creeping along, and you're just kind of like, it's gonna get me. And you just, from that moment forward, like, they had me hooked. I knew I was in an environment. I knew I was wearing a vest. I knew I was in a VR headset. I didn't care. From the moment that they were able to do that little thing that made me almost go past the simulation. Like, I didn't think that they could do that. I didn't think that they could get me in that way. And I don't really know. I don't want to say that a lot of the other things that happen moving forward, because there's so many great things about this experience. But it gets you over and over and over and over again. It does these little things that make you go, how did they do that? And that's really what it is. It's not even so much the visuals, as we're getting to the point now where developers are getting smart enough to find ways to trick our sensories and our minds. So I'm really a big fan of those experiences. If you've ever played A Chair in the Room, that was one of the first ones that was kind of like this.
Oh, I love
that I experienced.
Yeah, really good.
And this
Really
was
good.
kind of like that. Yeah, this was kind of like that, and it's a much different, much scarier way. So I'm not going to go into too much, but that's what it is. You got to try it out if you guys get a chance to go to the Void.
How much is it for? You pay for like 30-minute session, right?
Yeah, they're like $25 per session, but because
That's
of what
pretty
they are, and because the people that the way they treat you and the way they talk to you, and all the actual
It's
quality of the experiences, I would say it's absolutely worth it. And if
Yeah.
you're a guy and you can go take a girl out to go, let her check out the Void with you, it's an amazing way to get significant others into VR when they don't normally get into it. It's a very fun and exciting thing that people can share with other people. Plus, they give you little videos and pictures that you can take at the end of it. So,
That's
I'm a
cool.
big fan of it. A big fan of the Void. Very, very cool people. And that's what I just wanted to. No sponsorship. Once again, hashtag no sponsor. But very cool stuff.
But we
there.
are open to
Anyway,
sponsorship.
Not sponsored. What was the hashtag this week? Not an Oculus.
Yeah.
sponsor.
No, the hashtag this week is not an Oculus sponsor. So we'll mention this. So because I work with Oculus sometimes. I mean, Oculus has sent me to a couple cool places, and been very, very happy to go. At the same time, that doesn't mean that they pay for like actual things. They didn't pay people to go to those, or they didn't pay us to go to those events. Money, like extra money. No. You had to actually lose out on money by just quitting your job or like losing your job for a little bit to go to those things. And some people got hardware. Excellent. I unfortunately didn't get hardware yet. Maybe they'll send me some hardware. I don't know what's going on with that. But when people try to say, "Oh, you're a shill for this or that," no. Hashtag, I'll say it here, no Oculus partner. I'm not against it. Hey,
Partner.
Oculus, if you want to make me a partner, bring it on. Let me know.
Yeah, I've always said that. I always
it.
felt I'd sold
Okay.
enough units to get some kind of commission out of it. But no,
Yeah,
regretfully, I get
Well,
nothing from Oculus.
Right. I was
all.
gonna say we've got UKRifter here and we got Pretty Neat VR, which Oculus. I don't think that they watch our podcast, but hey, we would love to all be able to go and attend these events together. These guys have been putting in stuff just as long as we've been putting in stuff, and all together, I think that's I don't know. It's not that I think that everybody needs to have a free trip to things. It's not about that. It's just that if they're going to try to find people to take to these events, you would hope that they would look to the community that was originally helping to build the brand genuinely, not like like
from the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, I guess one thing is that when we
From
started doing our
DK1,
channels, none of us were like, there was no other people to look at. There was no other YouTubers that were doing VR that we were like, hey, I want to be like them. We were just making YouTube VR channels and we were finding each other. But nowadays, and I mean nothing. Anybody who's gotten into VR recently, it's I don't know. I'm so happy every time I see a new creator. There's nothing against it. It's just that
everybody popping.
I just to me there is a little bit of nostalgia when I hang out with you guys, and I wish that these people would know that there's been these guys that I've known now, that have been doing this for years and years and years, and spending their time on it, and I know that we spent many hours and many nights in 2014, 2015, 2016 just trying to get the word out there, to get people to be excited about virtual reality, and I think it worked. I think a lot of what we did actually did a lot of good. So
yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, it would be nice if they would give some acknowledgement to you guys. They were lucky enough to. I was lucky enough to get picked to do a couple things, but at the same time, it's like
I got invited to a few nice parties. I mean, I went to I think 3 different events with Oculus in the UK.
You and Greg met Jason.
We met Jason Rubin. I did an interview with Jason Rubin. I spent an entire night drinking beer with the Arsenal football team. And I didn't know who they were because I don't follow football at all. And I had loads of selfies with these cool guys, like just drinking all night. And I showed it to my mate at work who's an Arsenal fan. And I honestly didn't know who these people were. And he's like, that's so-and-so from Arsenal, you bastard. I met Jonathan Ross, who's like a big UK TV star. And I drank beer with him. I met a load of really cool YouTubers like Loki Games and a whole bunch of other guys that were also in the room. And I met Greg, who's an awesome guy as well. So yeah, Oculus helped me meet these people, which is amazing. But yeah, I'd like to do that stuff again. But ideally, and I don't care if I'm flown to some little outback town to go to a paper stationary office conference, right? I don't care where I go and what I'm doing. It'd be really nice to just go there and meet you guys, because that'd be awesome. But yeah, if it ends up being OC whatever, then yeah, great.
Yes, well, we will be all meeting each other soon. Hey, if I can by chance, if I can beat everybody in my Chinese tournament, we'll just have a big party.
Oh, you'll definitely do it.
On that.
That'd be sick.
We'll have one more podcast before I think I go to China. This is today is the 7th, so our next one will be on the 14th, and I'll be leaving on the 16th. So yes.
Okay, we can find out what's going on.
We'll have one more of those. I think I'm going to do one more key drop myself, just because I know everybody really
it's gone crazy.
game. Blasters
Right.
of the Universe is actually one game I do actually enjoy.
I quite enjoy that. Yeah, it's a nice
Blasters
shooter.
of the Universe on Steamvr, going out there right now to the friends.
Boom.
We're gonna. Well, I think that we can easily do this almost every week. I think we can give out keys and talk about things.
Yeah, I've got loads.
One thing I really want to say right now, anybody who's here in chat, truly, anybody who's here right now, can you please take a moment to jump in our Discord if you get a chance this week? Come in and say hi. And also, if you have somebody you'd like us to shout out to, I don't think we have a section for it yet, but we want to start shouting out kind of the new upcoming YouTubers, or even people who are just working on something special. So, you know, maybe it's going to be E- we shout out, or Paradise K we shout out, or maybe, you know, you guys know of some other people that we could do as well. I certainly have a few people in my mind right now that I'm thinking about. And I don't want to just start mentioning it, because I want to give them more time, and I want to actually show off their channels. So that would be something I'm going to be working on for next week, and we'll definitely do that. So anything else you guys want to talk about?
Don't know. It's actually forum.vrspies.com. If you hit that, I'm just gonna paste the link up there. But forum.vrspies.com, that redirects you to the Discord. Please do join. It'd be great to see you in there.
Absolutely.
And no, I don't have anything else. Have we got any questions in the chat, guys?
Any questions? Any last minute stuff from the chat? Oh, wait! Now we've got other people.
Oh, look, Mark Ledson is whacking in some stuff here as well for Jake and the Giant. Thanks very much, Mark.
Nice.
That's a nice game, especially if you've got kids. That's a really cool game.
Wait, do I have Jake and the Giant in the Oculus Store myself?
Maybe.
I might,
yeah, maybe steal one for you.
I'm gonna take a key if I can. I might take a key. I might steal a key.
I don't know if that's allowed. All right, guys. Shall we wrap it up there? I don't think we got any more questions. So it's been a fun episode, and we'll be back next week before Caleb flies to China.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Good stuff.
50 episodes, guys.
Yeah.
50 episodes.
Thank you guys very much. It's
been good.
very fun to see you guys.
All right.
Until next time.
Winding it up. Until next time. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, you hang up.